Great, Dave. Thank you. Happy memories, and what a beautiful version. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh, good morning again, one and all. Welcome to our Zoom service today. My name is Chickwell Sharrier, and I'm honored to be your platform assistant this morning. And we've all enjoyed our special musician. That sounds strange, but nevertheless sincere. Dave Kane, our maestro on the piano. Thank you. How wonderful. And I'm thrilled to be up here and honoring and welcoming again our friend, Reverend Sherri Quander, who will be giving our talk today, Living on the Playground. I love it. I can't wait. I always love the message you bring us, Reverend Sherri. Wonderful to have you with us. And now it's time for centering prayer. Please join me. Beloved Father, Mother God, empower me to be a bold participant rather than a timid saint in waiting in the difficult ordinariness of now, to exercise the authority of honesty rather than to defer to power or deceive to get it, to influence someone for justice rather than impress anyone for gain, and by to find treasures of joy or friendship, of peace hidden in the fields of the daily you give me to plow. Amen.
Well, good morning to Unity of DC, my amen people. It is good to see you all again. It's good to be back with you. I was so thrilled that every time Kay Wood sends me that little email, it pops up and I see it's him. I know there's good news coming. So thank you again for the invitation to be with you. So I thought I'd start out with a little levity this morning. There was this priest who decided to skip church one Sunday morning, and he wanted to go out and play golf. So he told his assistant that he was ill and he wasn't feeling well. So he decided to drive to a golf course in another city so that there were low chances of anybody recognizing him. So he gets all of his gear and he gets out on the first tee and he gets all set up and he takes that first swing, and a huge gust of wind picked up his ball and carried it about 100 feet. And it dropped directly in the hole. Well, he was just absolutely thrilled by this whole thing. It just thrilled. An angel that was sitting next to God looked up and said, "God, what did you do that for?" God looked back at the angel smiling and said, "Well, who's he gonna tell?" So we know there are things that happen in life that are fun, and when we start out on an iffy foot with it, who are we gonna tell? In the Psalms, Psalm 126, verse 2, it says, "Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with joyful shouting. Then they said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them." The title of my talk today is Living on the Playground. You know, it seems, and I always use the word seems and appeared because we know that the only truth there is God, but it has seemed over the last few years that we have had some really challenging challenges, some interesting things that we've had to dig down deep for our faith and our trust to have that which we needed to move forward. And you know, sometimes there were days when it felt like if it's not one thing, it's something else. And now that it appears that we're coming out of this COVID process and that the worst of it appears to be over, then we start to face something that we thought we would never see again, that we thought we would never have to explain to our children or that they would ever have to bear witness to. Here we are facing an unprovoked aggression against a peaceful country. Over the past few weeks, since the beginning of all of this devastating, reckless disregard for human life in Ukraine, I've had people come to me and say, "I want to pray for these people. I want to pray for this situation in Ukraine. I'm not sure how to go about it." I mean, I know I can say I want to pray for peace, but there's got to be something deeper. There's got to be something else I can pray for on behalf of these people, behalf of this country. I've had some people come to me and say that they feel so frustrated and helpless that they find themselves wanting to pray for the opportunity to go physically over there and grab a few people and start slapping some heads, because I just want to slap some people around into some reality, knock some sense back into them, to recognize that they're destroying human life. I've had others come to me and tell me of the sadness that they're feeling, of the anger, of that overwhelmingness of not knowing what to do. And I've had others come to me and say that they feel really guilty when they find themselves engaging in joyful activities with their families and loved ones. And all of these people in Ukraine are living in that suffering and in that separation. As metaphysicians, what we must remember is the fact that we believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. There's only one mind. There's only one substance. Ernest Holmes used to call it the stuff. There's only one stuff, one substance of God that is available and present everywhere, at all times, at all places, at all times, in every moment. God is everywhere at the same time. All of us are of this mind. All of us live in this consciousness of God. And we know, as Chick spoke of our daily word today, there is divine order by means of that life and that power of God. And there are sometimes we look and ask ourselves, what is God thinking? Does God actually know what's going on down here? Because there are times when we think, how could this be? And at the same time, it is our opportunity to know in the core of our being that whatever is going on, God is in the middle of it. So all of us are of this consciousness, this one mind. And the mind of God works for us by means of us. God works for us by working through us. We demonstrate the thoughts that we place into this omnipresence of the mind of God. We are demonstrating that in which we are thinking, that in which we are believing. And we all know that to participate in world peace, we must be the peace that we seek. The core of our being must be peaceful, non-judgmental, and joyful. To know a God of joy, we must be joyful. The people in Ukraine may not be able to engage in that joy right now. How do we support them? We live our lives to the highest and best of our ability. We live to and demonstrate our highest and best good. We live the joy and laughter for them. We must be willing to create a playground with like-minded individuals and carry on the expressions of joy and laughter of life. Two of my favorite movies were the original two Ghostbusters movies. Now, not only did I laugh until I cried, the heroes of these movies were these four guys who decided they wanted to start this business of going around and eliminating ghosts. And so they started out on this mission. And as the story went on, they discovered there is energy out here. There is energy that is a negative energy. And it's our opportunity now to remove that negative energy. And the negative energy continued to build until they began to discover that there was an element of what they called slime that was left by the energy. They found it was a negative, that the slime gave off negative energy. So they decided to change the molecular structure of the slime and create that slime so that it emitted positive energy. So, and they thought, oh, we just discovered something really, really wonderful. So when the city of New York began to crumble at the hands of the evil Gozer, and our heroes began to recognize that it was going to take all the positive thoughts and all the positive energy to be able to defeat this level of the evil ghost. They figured out how to take this positive energy and put it in motion by saying positive things to it. They talked to the slime. They told it was beautiful. They told it was wonderful. They told it that it was here to do beautiful things. And as they began to tell the slime these wonderful things about it, there began to be motion in the slime. And they put some of the slime in a toaster and told it was wonderful. And the toaster started dancing around the table. So they were just thrilled at the response they were getting from this positive slime that was going on here. So they decided that as the ghost started taking over the city of New York, that they needed to find a symbol for the city to get behind. They needed everybody's energy. And of course, New York has a reputation of having a population that consists of negative energy. And so here they were saying, how are we going to get, 3 million people here in the city of New York to say something positive to the next person on the street? How are we going to do that? And so they decided that they wanted to commandeer the Statue of Liberty, and they drowned the Statue of Liberty in this positive slime. And they decided to, and as they did, they were able to electronically start the Statue of Liberty to move. And it moved out of the water and onto the land. And it was walking down the street, and all the people were looking like, oh my goodness, what is this? And not only did they do that, but they also realized that they needed to have something else to support them in coming up with a positive atmosphere. So they had the opportunity to turn on some music and turn the music up loud. And the music that they chose was a song that really got everybody behind the process. They decided to choose Jackie Wilson's song, Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher. And they played this music at a magnitude of amps. And the city started dancing. The city started singing. The city started moving down the street with this statue. And as the positive energy began to swell, they were able to get to the ghost and drown the ghost in the positive energy slime. And of course, they become the heroes that saved New York. Now, all of this was just hilarious. It was just a funny movie. It made me laugh. But underneath of all of this science fiction stuff, there was a point. And this point is that we must remember to laugh. We must remember to sing in joy in the worst of times. We must be able to come together in one mind, in one consciousness. And to get that consciousness moving, they started to sing. Once they were downhearted, disappointment was their closest friend. But then we came, and it soon departed. And it never showed its face again. Our love keeps lifting us higher, higher than we've ever been before. So keep it up, quench their desire, and we will be at their sides forevermore. So it was this coming together on the playground, in this case, of the city of New York, to create a consciousness of laughter, of joy, of camaraderie, of support. And in the meantime, smother this representation of the consciousness of evil. So living on a playground means that we get to create our own joy and our own laughter. We get to live in that. The limitations of COVID are starting to lift, and we're starting to be able to regather in groups. And we've also had the opportunity now to become really good at Zoom. So there are many ways that we can come together in one mind and in one consciousness. And we have the opportunity now to create days to come together and play. I know when I was growing up as a child, my grandfather was a Baptist minister. My mother's father was a Baptist minister. And usually on as many weekends as they could find, times when they could find it, one of the things my grandfather loved doing more than anything was get together with family and friends and playing cards. Well, in the old time Baptist traditions, no, you didn't play cards. You limited your dancing. There was an unwritten rule in the at Southern Etiquette University saying that fun is limited. You can only have so much fun, and it can only be of a certain type. So when we were growing up as kids, my mother and my dad and my grandfather, and they had various other card playing friends, would come over, and they would just be having the best time. They were laughing, and they were having a good time sharing stories, and it was just a room full of joy. And I remember my mother saying to me one time, she says, okay, now, we all kind of get together and we all play cards together on Saturday, but you can't tell anybody that. And I kind of looked at her and was like, what do you mean I can't tell anybody? You can't tell anybody that we have card playing going on in this house and that your grandfather's part of it. You can't tell anybody that. And that never made sense to me because everybody was having such a good time. Everybody, the concept of being together as family, as friends, being safe in one place, everybody having joy and laughter and just doing what life is supposed to do and bringing the good. And my friends and I, when we got to high school, our house was always the movie night. We had movie nights, Friday night movie nights over here. And we would all go downstairs in the basement, turn the big TV set on. My mom would have all our friends would be over there, have 10, 12 kids. And we'd all have, popcorn and playing ping pong and whatever. And then the horror movie comes on. We all sit still and turn the lights out and watch. Well, that was just pure joy, having the best time. And my parents knew where everybody's kids were. And the kids were all over here, knew exactly where their children were and who was watching them. And so it was all in a safe environment. And when my mother told me that I couldn't tell anybody that she and my grandfather were having fun, I just knew there was something not right about that. There was something just two and two didn't add up to four. So we have since discovered through years of observation and years of study that it is the laughter and it is the joy that brings us the strength. It is the laughter and it is the joy that brings us together in one mind and one consciousness. And so there are plenty of things that we can do together to support Ukraine. We can come together in groups and have a good time finding ways to raise money. We can have a good time finding ways to put together care packages of essential items that are needed. We can find a good time by declaring love and truth and peace for them. We can come together in one mind to do meditation and prayer for them. All of this is when we come together in our highest and best and in our joy and our laughter to represent all that is good. Viktor Frankl, psychologist, author, and a Holocaust survivor, he wrote this: I never would have made it if I could not have laughed. He said, it lifted me momentarily out of this horrible situation, just enough to make it livable. So when we recognize that if the Ukrainians cannot, in all due respect, live in the joy that they would normally be living in, let us live it for them. Because we know that that joy goes into the one mind. And as it goes into the one mind, it's accessible by everyone. We all know that thoughts are things. And as we think, we put these thoughts into the substance of God, the substance of the universe, and they're available to all of us. It is our opportunity to let our joy and our laughter reverberate through the universe. Not only is it the consciousness that we send to the universe, it is the consciousness we demonstrate for ourselves in our own lives and in the lives of those around us. Mark Twain wrote, humanity has unquestionably one really effective weapon: laughter. Power, money, persuasion, supplication, persecution. These can all be lifted in one colossal humbug. But only laughter can blow it to rags and atoms at a blast. Laughter. He said, against the assault of laughter, nothing can stand. So when we start to recognize that it's okay to even laugh at ourselves, when we're able to do that and able to find humor in our own life situations. I know that one of the ministers that was one of my teachers along the way, she used to say that sometimes mishaps happen. And she said, instead of coming to a defense about the mishap, she said, just paint it red and keep going. Just tell the world, okay, so this is what happened. So let's have a laugh and let's move on. So it is about us being able to laugh at ourselves as well. So I hope, and well, actually, when I use the word hope, I always remember Eric Butterworth's definition of the word hope, and that is enthusiastic anticipation. So in enthusiastic anticipation, I invite all of us to go forward, create these groups of like-mindedness, create the playground buddies, create the joy, the laughter, and know that no matter the appearance of everything or anything, God is in the middle of it. So let love keep you lifting it higher, higher than you've ever seen before. And so it is. Amen. Take a deep breath. Breathe in the words. Every thought becomes a prayer. Allow your chair to support you as you continue to breathe. Know with me right now that God is all there is. And as we close our eyes or lower our gaze, we focus our attention to the center of our being, to that solar plexus area of our body, the core, where the light of God lives. As we continue to breathe, we allow that light to shine, filling us with warmth. As we continue to breathe, we feel that oneness with this warmth at the center of our being, knowing full well it is spirit. For spirit is ever present. Spirit is ever guiding, directing, inspiring, prospering, and blessing us in all that we do. We feel that safety. We feel that freedom. We recognize and know that we are here to continue to bring light to this world. We are here to continue to support others as they grow in spiritual awareness. We feel that warmth continue to surround us. We feel that light continue to grow in its depth. For we know right here and right now that every breath we take is that of God. It refuels us. It enlightens us. It encourages us. It empowers us. But we know that we are all that God is. And we allow that God light and that God life to move through us, guiding us to a higher recognition and a higher level of our own spirit, a higher level of our own personal authenticity. For we recognize that we are all here for a purpose, and it is our opportunity to discover that purpose, to live that purpose, and to share that purpose. So as we continue to feel the warmth of spirit, we move into a few moments of silence, feeling that security, feeling that safety, feeling that oneness, and feeling that love. As we continue to breathe, we give thanks. We choose to stand in a consciousness of gratitude. Gratitude for all that we are, all that we have, and all that we share. We choose to recognize our good. We choose to recognize that divine love, that love that keeps pushing us higher and higher. So as we return our consciousness to this place, to our space right here and now, we give thanks again for all that we are, all that we have, all that we have yet to discover. And we give ourselves permission to be in that joy and laughter of life. I release these words that have just been spoken here in this meditation into that ever-present mind of God, knowing that we move forth in gratitude and awareness of our love, our power, our strength. And together we say, and so it is.
And now please join me in a closing prayer. Once again, from my favorite book, A Grateful Heart, that was a Father's Day gift many, many, many years ago. Oh, spring, how we've missed you. Stir us from our slumber. Release the dark storms of our winters with your gentle breezes, so we can see again the mountains of challenge that inspire us to climb higher. They've been there all winter, but we've been inside. The promise of change is all around. May we greet the new beginning with renewed energy and vigor. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.
We are so blessed here at Unity Center DC for extraordinary speakers, talented musicians who share with us each week their God gift, their message, their inspiration. And for us as recipients, I'd like you to take this moment and be grateful. If you want to express your gratitude by giving a gift to Unity Center DC, it's possible. We'll put up on the screen the options, but you can give online, you can mail a cash or a check to the address you'll see on the screen, so that we can continue this ministry, which has blessed us all. Thank you.